Yo, this is disagreeable. I'm disagreeable. We are disagreeable. Let me get right into it. The term I've coined, performative tribalism, is what it's what we are dealing with daily. Maybe not we. Maybe you're an NPC. You're just a clown, and you're content with this reality. You know, just a monkey. But everything from all forms of media, interactions, especially that you have online, but even in your daily life, people don't even know why they are reacting or thinking. Just brainless. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's not even brain. If you were just brainless, that would be okay. But it's that you are totally programmed with this, like I said, performative tribalism. You feel me? You'll see something, you'll just start saying shit. You don't even know why the fuck you're saying it. Like you watch the media. And now you've been taught that I'm on this side or that side. You've chosen your gang. You feel me? Your congregation, your cult, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to call. And then if somebody speaks not against you, but maybe an idea or concept that your cult holds closely, your group, your constituents, whatever the fuck. Where if you just speak against an idea or a concept, these people whose group holds these ideas and concepts near and dear will attack you. You know, and that's where the performative tribalism comes in, because you're not even truly tribal, because you don't even really give a fuck. You're a do nothing talker. In all reality, you're a do nothing talker. You feel me? You like to get your little power play in there, feel like you did something when you did nothing. In this simulated reality, people think they are doing something by being reactive. You're not doing something by being reactive. You feel me? Reaction is not being proactive. You feel me? And just like in the chat right now, we have Nishu Kumari, and that's probably not even a real person. This is probably a bot trying to push to force engagement to get me to keep feeding. This is probably not even a real person. And I'm sure the AI can hear me expressing ideas like this is going to keep me away from certain people, because the idea of performative tribalism is perfect for control. If there was a benevolent AI or a group of people who are in control of a supercomputer, patterning people and being able to control them or whatever, they would not want me speaking about performative tribalism, because that's what they want you. Performative tribalism in your little groups. Oh, I'm a Muslim. And it's crazy how I'm not in any of these groups, and if I sit down with a Muslim, I'm gonna be able to talk to him more about, most likely, talk to you more about, on average, let me say on average, I'll be able to speak to you more about your text than you would, and you'll still defend it. And that's why your tribalism is performative, because your tribalism is not even informed. You're not even informed. You just chose, I'm gonna do this, and this is right, and this is wrong, and that's why you people are dangerous. That's why you people are dangerous. And you see people getting further into the performative tribalism. Even with the whole Charlie Kirk situation, now everybody's, oh, we're Christians and God, and you're not a Christian. You don't care. You don't care. You're just a group member, a part of a tribe, a scared little punk gang member. You feel me? A scared little punk gang member, on the same level as the Crips or the Bloods or whatever, the Vice Lords, the GDs, and all that shit. It's just pure idiocy. There's a comedian. Give me 1 second. I'll keep talking. There's a comedian, and I'll leave him my name because this is not about him. But British comedian. He was a what was he? A Jehovah's Witness? I think he was a Jehovah's Witness for a long time. So he claims that he's very well versed in the Bible on a certain level, like he's read the Bible or whatever. And then he made the point to point out in a summary that God created the world, right? And then he gave it to Satan, right? Because this is they say this is Satan's world or whatever. So he gave it to Satan, and then Satan offered it to Jesus, and he turned it down. Is this not is it only me who? And I'm not even anti-Christian or anything like that. I'm just thinking like, all right, that sounds like it makes sense. The guy who runs everything gave it to the bad guy so he could offer to his son, also his appendage, who also might be him at the same time. This is the most retarded thing I've ever heard in my life. But if you speak on it, you ask a question, then the performative tribalism will begin. You feel me? Everybody's going to come in with their interpretations. I don't care about your interpretation. People have been interpreting these stupid ass books forever, man. You're not you, you and your theological disposition is not any greater to me than Wild and Crazy Kids. You ever watch Wild and Crazy Kids when you were young on Nickelodeon? That's what religion is to me. A bunch of people in different color shirts running around a field. And it just picture Wild and Crazy Kids, but more disgusting, with people claiming to be righteous while sinning at the same time. You know? I don't care if you sin. That's your business. I'm just saying, like, don't claim righteousness. You feel me? Because nobody has it figured out. Nobody knows jack shit. That's the only thing that bothers me. Like, I don't claim to know everything, and I don't need you to know everything. I just need you to be a genuine person. You know, I don't need anything from you fucking monkeys. But it would be nice if you could be a genuine person. Therefore, we could come to greater conclusions. You know, epiphany. But that's not gonna happen because every single day I see it happening more and more. We're getting deeper, deeper, deeper and deeper into the How should I say it? You could say it's a deep state. You could say it's a Saturn Moon Matrix, malevolent overlords, the malevolent AI that took over, or whatever you want to say it is. But its mission is to make more and more tribes and animal farms for you to group into, so you can continue arguing with each other, continue thinking you're right, doing your performative tribalism, protecting your group, protecting your concepts, protecting your ideas is just pathetic. Yeah, people argue and protect the concept and protect the leader of these so-called groups more than they will protect their own fucking family. They won't. They're more interested in these celebrities and what's going on with them instead of making some progress, making some money, creating some love and community between people, bettering yourself, breaking patterns, doing little things like changing your speech. I curse a lot. Is it inhibiting my life? Maybe. I don't know, because you know why you don't know? Because you won't stop that pattern. And I curse. I'm just giving out an example. People refuse to break the simplest pattern. So how can I have any hmm, hope isn't the right word, but I'll say it. So how can I have any hope that you're gonna progress at all? So and here's the thing about the performative tribalism. As soon as you decided what tribe you're in, what group you're in, what concepts and ideologies you're gonna back, your growth ends right there at that point. Your growth is 100% ended. And don't think I'm coming from some occultist, a metaphysical, mystic perspective either, because I don't want to be in your little gay OTOs or whatever, your golden dawns. You feel me? I don't want to be in your little weirdo groups either. You feel me? So this is so I know because I know you guys have tiny little you have a very small area in which you're allowed to think. You know, so as soon as somebody says something about the Abrahamic religions, the Judeo-Christianity or whatever the fuck you want to call it, as soon as you say something about Islam, Catholicism, Christianity, Judaism, whatever, then you're all automatically in the bag of you're evil or you're a Satanist or you're doing witchcraft or some shit like that. No, Nobody want to do no gay ass witchcraft with Crawley's weird looking ass. You feel me? I'm not into that. I'm into just being yourself, making progress. Because when you're yourself and you're honest, and you detach yourself from these groups and you stop the performative tribalism, you can actually think at that point. You know? And I came to speak about it because usually I don't give a shit, but this is one of those days where I don't know. I just woke up pissed off. It could be because I'm like back on the secret juice from Colombia, working out, and I'm not talking about steroids. But yeah, maybe I'll show that later. Maybe I'll show that later on the live. The vitaminas, the aditivos de Colombia. But yeah, I woke up like charged and just everything I was seeing like YouTube, social media, stuff like that. It was just like I was like, this is just idiocy. You know, it was. And the thing is, isolation is dangerous. You know, so you think you can isolate from these things, and you know what? You can do whatever you want. You can break whatever pattern to be successful in whatever way. But no, but they say isolation is dangerous. So say you cut off the social media, you cut off the YouTube, you cut off all that, you're then in a bit of isolation, you know. So think for a second, because it is like it is puzzling. It's like it's a double-edged sword. Like you do have the opportunity to do whatever you want to do, but then again, you are still in this thing with these people, you know. And the thing about me is like I don't need cooperation from any of these tribal dummies at all for my own personal life. But it troubles me because these people are dangerous. If you look at the level of intelligence being displayed by the people who are making decisions, and let me be very clear by that, the people who think they are making decisions, you're voting, you're protesting, you're all this BS. You are doing what you've been told to do and nothing more. You're doing what you've been told to do and nothing more. You feel me? That's what you think you're making decisions, but I digress. The people who think they are making decisions, these are very dangerous people, man. Very dangerous people. And I've always known this, but it became super clear during the C-19 situation of the level of danger we're dealing with these people, how they would turn on you. You feel me? How situations like, I don't believe in the H cost or whatever and all that stuff, but let's believe it for a minute since that's like colloquial historical information, right? I see how people could easily get into their Nazi German bag. You feel me? People can easily do that because they stand for nothing. Their minds don't work. They don't think about anything, and people think standing for something is picking up the ideologies and thoughts. They think about they think standing for something is picking up the ideologies of some group and then defending that. Now you're standing for something. Yeah. You stood for everything except for yourself. Congratulations, you stood for everything except for yourself. And I knew the benevolent AI, whatever, is not gonna like this because and these vertical feeds, they always throw my people in here. So when this thing started, a bunch of people were in here, and then when I started talking about rejecting the system, breaking patterns, not being tribal, stop the performative tribalism is dangerous. You look goofy. You don't really care. You don't really care. The energy that you put out on YouTube or on social media, you don't even put that much energy into your own families because you're brainwashed. You feel me? Because you're brainwashed. You feel me? And a lot of it is based in fear. You feel me? A lot of people they join these groups into performative tribalism because it's purely out of fear. For one, the fear of thinking. Because if you think, as soon as you start thinking, you have to take responsibility for yourself. And these groups and these performative tribes allow you to not take responsibility for yourself. I was just thinking for a moment. And the thing is, like, if you ever seen like Waking Life, and there's a scene in the movie where the guy talks about what is it? What's the guy's name? The guy in Waking Life, he's talking about the land of the dead and the concept that the guy goes into this town, and in this town, he was a writer, and in this town, everybody in this town was having the same character dynamics and names from the book that he wrote. When he had broke down in some town in Europe, right? And then he went to a priest, and he has a priest friend, or he went to a priest or something, and he explained to the priest like how this happened, like I was here, this happened, it was the same people from my book. And then he starts explaining the book and the town to the priest, and the priest explains to him. The priest asks him like, have you ever read the book of Acts? And he's like, no. And he's like, you should read the book of Acts. What you're talking about is the exact story from the book of Acts. So he reads it, and he started telling the exact story from the book of Acts. So that lends the idea that time is just folding on itself. Same thing is happening all the time. The same story is being told over and over again. You feel me? And this is not just to be complaining, because it's very easy to become jaded when you're surrounded by these tribal monkeys. So you must not become jaded or fully nihilistic, because I think that's what the machine wants. The few thinkers, the few last of us that are alive. No, there's a lot of people alive, but the few last of us that are here actually thinking. You feel me? Not trapped in these in these animal farms, not trapped in these little tribes, these gangs, these groups, whatever you want to call them, these political sides. It Those who are not trapped in it, they want you to become jaded and and nihilistic, so you won't um, impose your will on this reality. So you won't impose your will on this reality, because put it this way, it knows that you have the power to affect change, and all these other people who've turned off their brains don't have the power to create change in this reality. So it wants you to deny your power. Okay, so how do I put it? If you won't participate in the theologies and the tribes and all that shit, it wants you to become jaded and nihilistic, so you will do nothing. Because you, with the power of free thinking and observation, you still have the power to affect this reality. Everybody who has joined a tribe, everybody who has joined a political side, everybody who's locked in a theology, they have zero power to affect change in its reality. It is solidified. It's what it wants them to do. You feel me? People who are still arguing about the media and things like that. If you are a grown adult and you can't tell that everything is fake, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, because I can sit down and show you everything, show you how it's clearly fake, and you're still going to hold on tight to it because your ideas, your concepts, and your ideologies are connected to these events in the media and these people in the media who they put as your leaders and avatars and archetypes for your tribe. You feel me? But it is what it is. And I decided to come out here and have this talk instead of wallowing, because I feel like the system itself, Skynet, whatever you want to call it, I feel like it wants to move you into a certain mood. If it can't control your thoughts, it will try to control your mood. If it can control your emotions, then it has a line to control your imagination, and then boom, it has you. You feel me? So in these moments, because people like to pretend, especially people think they are smart. They like to pretend they are above propaganda. You are not above propaganda ever. You feel me? You're not above propaganda ever. You might be less susceptible to it, But you still got to keep your shields up. You still have to examine things, observe things properly, be self-observant. You still have to do all this. And the reason I named this performative tribalism is because people aren't really in these tribes. They only care to feel important and to feel like they belong to something. I'm important. I'm a part of something. I belong to something in the tribe. No, you're not. You're not. You don't belong to it. You don't. You. The ideas pumped out through the media are not you. And guess what? Books, when the printing press was created, that was the media. So yes, those books are also the media. Maybe in older text, you can find some semblance of truth. You feel me? Some more accurate information. But then again, you still have to use your discernment through that information. And people don't want to do that. They want to join a tribe, decide what they think is right or wrong, and then fight for that position. You feel me? Fight to be an idiot. Fight to be locked within the same reality. Fight to never change. Fight to never progress. Fight to keep this thing exactly what they want it to be. You feel me? You feel me? They want you to go outside, for example, if you are if you're a so-called black person and see a certain type of white person presenting themselves in a certain way, and you're supposed to automatically think, oh, look at him, I hate that guy, he's probably a Trump guy or this or that. It's like just all these conclusions and assumptions and fucking idiocy for no reason. And fucking idiocy for no reason. And if you're white, you're supposed to look at somebody with a certain phenotype or how they carry themselves or maybe some type of symbolism they might have on themselves, and you just go, oh, that's that type of person. They're a liberal, they're a BLM, I go blah blah blah. They're doing this when it's just full. It's just totally nonsense. It's not you. You don't even know who you are. You're buried in this tribalism. You're buried in this group think. You're buried in this double speak. You're buried in this witch speak. You feel me? And I really do think it's a benevolent AI or whatever because in these moments when you're feeling pressed by the Skynet or Matrix, whatever the fuck it is, you need to go outside and be around actual people and get away from the internet bots who are feeding you certain things to get your engagement. That's an innocent way of saying it. It's all about money. They just want your engagement. It's not about money. It's about your mind. It's about your imagination. It's about your emotions. If they capture your imagination, your emotions, your thinking is cooked. Your thinking is cooked. Who is they? Whatever you want to call it. Saturn Moon Matrix. You feel me? The deep state. You feel me? The cabal. The 13 families, whatever you want to call it. When you allow your imagination and your emotions to be captured, your thinking is gone. You might as well, you are the 85%. You are the dead. You feel me? Feel free to hit the like button. People coming in and out of here. You know, because it definitely is a strange place that we're in. And people want to know, like, oh, what should I do? What should I do? You do nothing. Strange game, Professor Falcon. The only winning move seems to be not to play. You feel me? And people assume that not playing means dropping out of society and building a fucking cabin in the woods and filtering water or whatever the fuck. No, it just means rejecting tribes, rejecting groupthink, and going for what's right. Because at the core of yourself, you know what's right, you know what's wrong, and stop letting this performative tribalism capture your imagination and your emotions. Once your imagination and your emotions are captured, your brain don't work no more. You feel me? And then you're just another clown, either arguing with bots that don't exist online, or if you, even if you are talking to a person who exists, you are defending ideas that you didn't come up with, ideas that you haven't even rolled around in your head properly, things that you've been convinced of. You feel me? Excuse me. You feel me? Just shit that you've been convinced of. What's good, Shaka? See, we have one real person in here, though. That first person who just, when you do these lives, somebody just says hi and it's a random name without a picture. That is the AI trying to get you to get some weird engagement or whatever. Like no, no. Look, it is what it is. Like I said, these talks are mostly for me. They're not for like anybody else or any audience or anybody to. If you get something out of it, then that's good for you. But I don't really need any appreciation or I don't need a cosign. I don't need you to assert my thoughts. You feel me? That's what most people need. They need someone to assert their thoughts before they can be solidified in their own ideas, and it's just pathetic, and it stops us from advancing or coming to epiphany. You feel me? Or even coming to an understanding. How the fuck are we going to come to an understanding when you're in this theology, I'm in this theology, I'm in this group, I'm in this tribe, you're in this, and I can't even talk to you because you're in the tribe. If I speak against the concepts and the ideas of the tribe, you feel like I'm attacking you because you're a monkey, you're an animal, and that's where they want you. That's exactly where they want you. Shaka says your audio sounds like you're using a paper cup and a string. Yeah, possibly. I should have put my headphones on, maybe, but I don't really care. Like I said, this was mainly for me. Just come sit outside in the sun for a moment and shake off the mood I was in and speak on it instead of being caught up in it. Like I said, it's easy to become nihilistic and jaded because when I really look at what we're dealing with, when I really look at what we're dealing with, it's just like there's a zero hope. These people are pathetic. You feel me? On every level, it doesn't matter like how much money you have, doesn't matter how you were raised. You're just victims to this propaganda. Just victim to this propaganda. Perpetual victims. You feel me? And it's like I really gotta stay disconnected from the media and shit because that does lend to me or add to me being. It does add to me being more jaded and nihilistic. You feel me? Because the thing is so bad. The presentation, the propaganda is so bad. Everything is so fake. Everything is so fake that it saddens me. It saddens me to think that the mass of people are subscribing are subscribing to this information, are subscribing to this reality. You know? But it is what it is. Coming up in 30 minutes, so I've been here long enough. I'm out.